actually does have testing against COVID-19 specifically. So it's a viricide, you know, germicide, whatever you want to call it. It covers a lot of bacteria, things like that too. So, but they kind of hang their hat on the fact that they've already tested against COVID-19 and it's effective. So first thing I'm going to do is just going to unwrap the cord.
Can we just get a couple helpers and wrap the cord?
And the way we have it kind of wrapped up is probably it's the only way we've started doing it. So I mean, we can put it right back this way. I mean, it's not imperative that the machine be entirely wrapped up identically, but this seems to be the best so far that we've come up with, just to keep it compact, because it's got to go in that little room over there. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind just pulling as much cord over there as possible, and then we'll end up pulling more cord as we move the machine. Maybe I should have got a shorter cord. Okay, so once we get to the connection point, that's where we can pull it all to there. The same is going to happen here for the spray wand and the hose here. So if you've ever wrapped a garden hose before, it's the same fashion. You almost have to twist it as you wrap, otherwise it just kind of gets all tangled and stuff. So you need to wrap this and unwrap this in the same fashion. So Jack, if you'll be my assistant here. So as I unravel this, Jack's just going to keep spinning that wand because we want the hose to lay out nice and straight without a lot of curls in it, because when you work with this for a few minutes, you'll see it's easy for this hose to already get some curl in it by itself. And this is 50 feet of hose, and it's got a little 3-foot lip on the end, which is a little bit more flexible, so it's not as mean as this hose. It's not as stiff. So that's good there, Jack, if you want to bring it on back. So last night in our demonstration, we kind of actually did a little troubleshooting too, because we turned the unit on and then nothing happened. So we were all kind of like, oh, what's going on here? Because the one we demoed, everything worked flawlessly, but we also had 2 Sherwin-Williams reps here. But so we can gather around here if you want. There is that instruction sheet to refer to as well, but basic components on here, there's a power switch on and off here on the side. This black switch here is the priming switch. So if it's in line with this black tube, then that's in the prime position. And so if you wanted to, it's basically a switch to say, I just want it to recirculate in here, or I want it to circulate through the hose. Okay, so right now it's priming, so it's going to recirculate through the machine only. And you can just flip the switch down, and then now it's going to push that disinfectant through the hose. Okay, and then on the other side, we have a knob here. We think we have it optimally adjusted from last night's training, which is this round knob here, and that's just that actually regulates the pressure on the machine. So if you're spraying for some reason, or if this gets adjusted accidentally, you can always turn it positive or negative, more pressure, less pressure, to suit however you want to spray. The higher the pressure, the more it will mist. And obviously the lower the pressure was the problem we had last night. Was we had the pressure all the way down, turned it on, and nothing happened. Like the machine didn't even start, and I thought, okay. So after a minute, we cranked the pressure up, and then it started to go. So the next thing is we want to, power's connected, hose is out. We're going to put some disinfectant into this hopper, and it's just a little clip here, just pulls right off. This can be stored to the side. And then we've got a little transfer pump because we didn't want anybody lifting a 5-gallon bucket to try to fill this machine. So we're just gonna, there's actually some in here now, but we're gonna go ahead and put some in. You can fill it all the way up within about an inch from the top if you want. We haven't got that far yet. Yep, so we have 10, yeah, we have 10 gallons right here on site, and we can get this material pretty quickly too from Sherwin-Williams, and so we can order more and have it here in a day or so if we really needed it. So, okay, so Now we've loaded our disinfectant. We need to prime the machine, okay? As I mentioned before, it's already in the prime position. So really all we have to do is hit the power button. And we don't have to do this when you're spraying, but I'm gonna lift this up because the pump is gonna prime it through this line back into the same reservoir. It just keeps material right there at the tip of the line for it to pull through. So there's no siphon, there's no vapor lock or anything like that. So I'll turn this on. That's as loud as it gets right there. And if you look here, it's got material flowing through it right now. So as long as you have material flowing through like that, it's primed, you're ready to go. So we'll put this down here. And the next thing I'd show you, I'm just gonna turn this off for a second. So now we're primed, and assuming, which it's not going to be because we're gonna be rinsing this out after 11 o'clock mass because we won't let disinfectant sit in it for a week. But there's always gonna be fluid in this line. We had to initially prime the line, so it was empty, there was air in there, but if you have to, or if you find that there's an air bubble, then we'll have to reprime this machine and potentially the line. So easy way to do the machine is this tip right here is what actually restricts the flow of material and causes it to mist. So we just give this a turn and this little tip pops right out, okay? So now there's really nothing stopping the flow besides that tip. So what I would do is turn on your machine. We're letting it prime. We switch to the spray to put it in the line. And so you hear that it actually, okay, it stopped because it's pressurized this line all the way up to the trigger. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit in here and I just easily, squeeze the trigger. I don't wanna just shoot it out, but we wanna release a little pressure. And now I've got fluid coming out of here, okay? And once I have fluid flowing like that through the line, it's primed as well. So we won't have to do that every time, like I said, because even at between the masses, we're gonna leave the disinfectant in. It should just be really just plug in and go for the next 2 masses every week. So like Sunday morning is gonna have it easy, so they don't have to worry about doing this. So maybe sign up accordingly. So the tip can go back in, and it's important on this tip, there's an orientation here. It looks like an arrow pointing in one direction. Well, you want the tip of the arrow pointing out to where you're gonna spray. So I'm gonna turn this, and it's just in line with our tube here. So we are ready to spray. So one important thing to say, like Gene said, all the roles are important, and whether you're spraying, you're actually applying the disinfectant, or you're managing the hoses, or you are flipping up the kneelers. It's all, I'm sure the more in sync we get, the faster that we can get in and out of here. So one duty that probably the person flipping the kneelers needs to do is maybe just keep an eye on the disinfectant. So it's gonna draw this out, it's gonna use material, and we don't want it to run out, because if it runs out, it'll lose prime, and then you lose time. It's not a problem for the machine, it's just a matter of you go through the steps over and over and over.
Is it
So.
okay for them to be spraying and you can fill it up?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, it can happen just like this. Oh yeah. There's nothing really magical with this, it's just, and it could be poured in while we're going, or if somebody saw, well, hey, we're down to half and we got through one line, yeah, feel free, fill it right back up. So, yeah, that's about it for that. So now we're gonna apply it. So I'll have Jack be my demonstrator. You wanna run the hose for now?
Yep, I'll be the hose guy.
So this is the part that we haven't kind of perfected yet. We think, at least for now, we'll start with the kneelers up. We'll actually come through and spray every cube, and we're gonna make one pass across the bench. Actually, we're gonna do every bench. We'll do every other kneeler though. So in the aisles that are going to be marked off as don't sit here, where the Eucharistic ministers are going to be walking through, no need to disinfect the kneeler because nobody's going to be using it. So save a little more time that way. But we will disinfect the pew on the first pass. So we're going to be aiming, if you had to aim it, we're aiming about here, but you'll see quickly that it's really just a fine miss. And all we need to do is let gravity kind of do its job and get you away right away. And then the same thing goes for when we do the kneeler from the other side. So we're going to do the pews this way, and then we're going to come back with the kneelers on the side. We're going to spray the kneelers and the back side of this pew at the same time. Right? So there's one pass in each direction, and we're done. So I'll start here on this front one, and I'll do a couple. I'll show you how fast this goes. With spraying anything regarding pumps like this, if you think you have enough on there, you're probably actually too much. So you really want to have kind of a decent pace. So we're just going like this. We'll go to the next one. The biggest hassle will probably be the so this will go relatively quick. So what are we on, like 5 views now? 4? We're at like, what, 40 seconds, something like that. The real is so, we'll end up doing the entire church in one direction, and probably at this point, we would do that same line, flip the kneelers down when we need to, go to the back of church, start spraying from there. The person running the hose probably would just need to be down here, pulling the excess hose towards them. If you wanted to move the machine, if we've got plenty of cord, you can feel free to do that. We don't have to, we don't have to stretch the cords as far as they possibly go, but we've got enough there, and there's enough hose here that you can really make it how you want it to be. So.
We are thinking, like I was trying to do when he's going out here, keep the hose here in the middle of the fuse.
Right. Yep. Because then it's just floating, and maybe this right here at this connection between this whip and the main line would be a good part to actually hold on to, because maybe this dragging across tops of fuse would cause some damage potentially. So it is coiled, so it shouldn't, but there is a fit in here that could potentially rub the fuse. So we've got the kneelers here, and let's see, who would want to, basically what we're going to do here is, I'm going to start here, and we're going to mist in the same fashion, and as we're misting, like the third person would kind of be like my shadow. And so as I'm misting, they could be walking just kind of where Katie is right here, and as soon as I get to the next one, she could already get the first one flipping it up, right behind me flipping it up, and then getting to the other side, because then I could go right back to the other fuse and slip down and do the same thing and take no time at all. So this one, yeah, we're just going to start here. I usually start off of the thing I'm spraying. And that's it. So it's really kind of an easy task. So probably the most intimidating thing is the machine and working around it, but with what Gene wrote up on notes and what we hope to have on this video, we'll really kind of answer any questions that somebody has. So anybody want to give it a try?